Hello, listeners and viewers. This is Off Script with Super E. I am your host, A-Train, and I want to introduce to you the star of the show, Super E.
What's up, A-Train?
I'm doing good. How about you, buddy?
Not too bad. Had a good Christmas.
Good. I did too. Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what we're doing on this episode. So, actually, this was almost 2 years ago. We had done an episode that is titled Pumpkinhead, and it was a fan favorite. And I wanted to revisit that. I kind of want to go over that again for our new video podcast viewers. Yeah, like I said, it was such a favorite. Let's revisit it. Let's talk about that a little bit. Can you give us set us up a little bit?
Yeah, no problem. What we was talking about a couple of years ago was hookers with physical attributes that threw me off my game. And one time I was working up at Northwest Side. Every once in a while we get complaints up around 30th Street on Northwest Side. And the girls would walk up down the street, and this is like in the neighborhood. So, especially the moms were mad. But this is when on that side of town, the George sector, it was like people on crack, and you had crack houses. Not a lot of them, but a few of them. And that's what brought the street prostitutes out. They would walk around that area, the main drag. It was called Clifton. And they would prostitute to get money for crack. So I'm up there checking it out. And I see this girl walking. It's in the evening time, summer. And I could tell it was a big girl. And I didn't know if she was working or not, but I just, I would pull up about 10, 20 yards past them. And she, waddled up to my car. And as she's getting in, I'm kind of looking at her. And I'm thinking, man, she's big. She's a big girl. And so I'm seeing how big she is, but I didn't take it in how big her head was on her body. I guess having such a big body made her head look somewhat proportional because I wasn't immediately looking at it like that. But, she asked me what my name was, and I said, my name's Ray. And then she had such a sweet demeanor about her. And she looked at me and smiled, and she just had this beautiful smile. It was like sunshine was coming on me, just sweet sunshine. And I had to make a comment to her, you have such a sweet smile. It's like sunshine. And she asked me what my name was. Again, I said Ray. And she goes, oh, thank you, Ray. Pumpkinhead. He just likes to be nice. And I said, I was like, what? I was like, what's your name? My name's Pumpkinhead. That's my name. Pumpkinhead's name's Pumpkinhead. And I was like, okay. Your name's Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead's got a huge head, so people call me Pumpkinhead. So that's my name, Pumpkinhead. You can call me Pumpkinhead. And I was like, okay, Pumpkinhead. And I was a little, like I said, a little thrown off my game. And luckily she came back with, well, Ray, what would you like Pumpkinhead to do? Pumpkinhead will do something, but Pumpkinhead's going to need compensated. And I was like, well, Pumpkinhead, I got $20, but you're so sweet, I'll throw in an extra 10. Pumpkinhead, that's okay with that. Would you like to have head, Ray, from Pumpkinhead? Yes, Pumpkinhead, I would. Oh, Pumpkinhead appreciates that. Pumpkinhead's going to do a good job. And the whole time I'm thinking, oh my God, she's so sweet. I don't want to lock her. I don't want to lock up Pumpkinhead because I don't think Pumpkinhead's going to jail. Pumpkinhead does not need jail. That's what I was thinking. And so she goes, I don't want to offend you, but could Pumpkinhead see the money? Pumpkinhead would feel more comfortable. And I said, sure, Pumpkinhead. And what I would do is I just reach in my back pocket, pull out my badge, and go, here's your money. Then I open it up, and there's my badge. Pumpkinhead doesn't like what she sees. Pumpkinhead sees a badge. Pumpkinhead don't like that. And I said, I'm sorry, Pumpkinhead. I apologize. Pumpkin's okay, Ray. I said, Pumpkinhead, you're so sweet. Ray's going to write you. Then I start being like George Costanza. Ray's going to just write you so much because Ray likes Pumpkinhead. Ray's just going to write you a ticket, Pumpkinhead. Oh, thank you, Ray. Pumpkinhead appreciates that. Ray will write you a summons and just hand it to you, Pumpkinhead. Oh, Pumpkinhead is grateful. You're a good guy, Pumpkinhead. Ray. Oh, Ray, thanks you for that. And so I wrote her a summons, gave her the summons, and I did a report. But she was so sweet and so nice, and I didn't get any complaints of a hooker with a lantern on top of her shoulders prostituting. I hung on to that ticket for a while, and then just never turned it in.
Oh, well, aren't you an angel? That is so sweet of you.
Yep. So, like I said, Pumpkinhead was real sweet. The next girl with a physical deformity that threw me off my game, she was a little bit snotty, had an attitude about her. And she was a new girl to the street. Now, she was down on Washington Street, the main hot dog stand, the one that was the busiest. And it was getting dark. And I'd seen this girl for about 3 weeks. And she was very, very cautious, very picky. And she had, I'd pulled over for her and she would just wave me on. So I was like, okay. So then, like I said, it's been about 3 weeks. It was getting dark. And I thought about, she's not even going to pay me any mind. So I might as well just keep going. But I thought, what the hell? I'll just pull over and see what she does. She can only tell me to leave. So it's getting kind of dark. And she, this time she walks up to my passenger side door and she gets in. And the dome light was on because it was getting dark enough. You really couldn't see him very well on the outside. So as she got in my car, the dome light was shining on the left side of her face. And I could see this giant pimple right here on her left cheek. And it was overwhelming me. It was huge. It was so red with the gigantic white head on it. And it was like pulsating. It's like it had its own heartbeat. And it had that big white head with a black center. And I was just like, oh my God, that's the biggest skin eruption I've ever seen in my life. And she gets in and I can tell she has a bitchy attitude. And she's looking straight ahead. And she's just looking straight ahead. And she goes, hi, she goes, what's your name? And I'm just looking at her. I'm looking at that thing. I go, goiter. And she goes, are you looking at that pimple? I couldn't. Yes, I am. She goes, what's your name? I go, my name's Ray. She goes, so what are you out looking for? I go, how long have you had that? Had what? A gigantic pimple. I couldn't help myself. That's the biggest pimple I've ever seen. She goes, would you quit looking at the pimple? I said, I can't. Why haven't you squeezed it? And it'll spread more disease on my face. I'm not touching it. Oh. So she goes, what do you want? Do you want some head? And I was like, can I just touch it? No. Can I squeeze it? No. She goes, okay. Do you want your dick sucked or not? What do you want to do? I've got a staple in my car, an old staple on the ground. Can I lance that? I can sharpen it on the pavement. Is that what you want to do? Let me squeeze that pimple first. I've got $50 burning a hole in my pocket. She goes, you make me sick. She goes, you're gross. Let me out of this damn car. And I said, don't go, pimple. And then she stopped this car. I said, all right. So I stopped the car and she slammed it. She's like, creep. And I was like, who walks around with the giant goiter oozing off the side of your head without doing something about it? And not think that people are not going to be able to share. It's like, remember in Seinfeld, remember when Elaine was watching an old woman with the goiter on her neck?
Mm-hmm. You're staring at my goiter.
But I just couldn't take my eyes off it. And I couldn't keep my focus off it.
It also makes me think of Austin Powers when Fred
Yes.
Savage had that big mole and the stick starts coming in to point at it.
Yeah, I almost said when she asked me what my name was, pimple, 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 moly, moly, moly. I had never seen anything. The only time I had seen something like that is when I was in uniform and we were taking a disturbance in the hood in projects. And this dude is chattering 100 miles an hour. He's complaining about whatever's going on, and we're all standing and listening to him. And we're looking to we could see like the left side of his face. He's talking, and he was very dark complected. And then he turned to his right, and there was like this white glob on his face. And we're like, dude, what's that on your face? Did somebody just hit you with some rice pudding? And he goes, oh, no, man. Oh, man, that boil must have busted on my face. Now, instead of trying to be polite and have a little bit of etiquette, me and the guy working with me and all the 100 bystanders in the hood, we all went, oh, gross. That is so gross. And he goes, I can't do anything about it. I get boils. So, yeah,
Oh my
that
God.
was probably, it was disgusting. This episode makes you want to go out and go into Chinese restaurant to the pudding buffet.
Yes, or have some tapioca pudding or something like that. Yeah.
That's
Well, so Detective Pimple Popper. So you've talked about a couple incidents where some physical attributes kind of threw you off your game.
Yes.
You're batting 50% on this because the first one, Pumpkinhead, successful. The second one, the huge pimple, threw you off your game so bad. She just got out of the car. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed the extra point immediately.
That's fine. And I think I said batting 50%. I meant 500, but whatever. Okay. Well, you know what? On Pumpkinhead, I think that was a real nice gesture of you just to write her a summons, not lock her up. I think that's very, very nice. She was sweet to you. Why not? Right?
Exactly.
So on both these cases you talked about, you were responding to citizen complaints about prostitutes walking up and down the sidewalk in front of their house. You know, they're just trying to live their lives, and they don't want their kids around that, right?
Yes, it's called what they would say the quality of life. Captain Matt Crockett used to say, you know, the people in that area are just doing the best they can, scuffling along, raising their kids,
Yep.
you know, making the house payment or the rent, doing the best they can, and they don't want to see the drug activity and the prostitutes.
Exactly. Okay, well, you know, there's nothing better than you doing your Pumpkinhead voice. I just love hearing it again. Appreciate it. Do you ever talk to your wife in a Pumpkinhead voice?
No, I do enough stuff to irritate her now that I can't that line anymore.
Great. That's probably smart. Okay, well, listen, listeners and viewers, I hope you enjoyed this revisiting Pumpkinhead and the giant pimple prostitute. I think we're gonna revisit Miss Goiter. I think we're gonna revisit a couple other fan favorite episodes, and I hope you enjoy them as much as we do. Super, you got any parting words?
Nope. Everybody be careful. Take care.
All right. We will see you on the next one. Bye.